Hi guys, it's Nick Whitehorn from Whitehorn Music. Hope you're good. Just thought I'd do a quick video today on how to score to picture in Reaper using Subprojects. Really easy to do, and it will make your workflow much better when you're doing multiple cues on the same video file. Let's check it out. Okay, so here we are in Reaper. What I'm doing here is basically putting some music to a example video on factual entertainment that Christian Henson has put up on his channel. I'll put the link in the description if you fancy giving it a go yourself. And he's also put things up there like a Google Sheet document with all the cue points, etc. Really good resource, really good channel of his as well. You should check it out if you are into film and TV composing. And basically what I've done here, I've imported the video into Reaper and I've just started putting music to it, and I've marked up the cue points in Reaper matching up against the SMPTE time code markers in the Google Sheet document that Christian's provided. That will make more sense if you once you check out the Google Sheet document, if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about there. And what I've done is I put all the cue points in, and then for this cue here I started to write the music, but I'll play you the music and then I'll show you the difficulties that I had. Okay, so if you've done film and TV composing before, you may have spotted the issue I came up against straight away, and that's when you're doing a cue, you always want that cue to start on the first beat, essentially. So you want to edit your project so that your cue is coming in on there, for example, the first beat of the bar. And the reason is that when you're then mapping time signatures and tempos, it's much easier. You can do timings, you know where you are, and it's much easier to do cues. If you're doing it that way, and a good way of doing it so that each of your cues are matched against the first beat of the bar, is to have a separate project for each cue and map that cue to the first beat. That's how I've done it previously. However, there is a better way of doing it, in my opinion, and that is something that I came up against the other day. After doing a bit of research, I came across Akash Thakkar's YouTube channel, which is based around Reaper for game audio, more specifically sound design, and he had a video on Subprojects, and I thought this is really interesting and this could definitely be adapted for film and TV composition within Reaper as well. I'll put the link to Akash's YouTube channel in the description. Also, really recommend it. So what I'm going to show you is how to set it up using Subprojects in Reaper. So let's do it for this cue here. So you see the cue markers here, which are the in and out points there. So firstly, we're going to need a new track. So let's just get a new track added. Get that right down to the bottom. And I'm just going to call this Q3 for all intents and purposes. Now let's bring up the custom actions menu, and if you've got a PC, that's Shift and question mark. I think it's the same for a Mac. And in here I'm just going to type in Subproject, and we're going to use this. So I've already got the shortcut mapped for it, but you can map your own by just clicking the add button and then create your own shortcut for yourself. What this is going to do, it's going to move it's going to move this track to a subproject. Then whatever you create within that subproject, it's going to render that audio to the specific time selected area that you've made here. So you have to select the time selection markers between your cue points. let me explain. Let me show you with the example. So let's run that. So let's come out of that. And here you'll see that you've got a nice new little tab. This is your subproject. So you'll see that you've got all your cue markers again, but you have no video. So you do need to insert your video again. In fact, let's just make sure that we get it on. There's beat right at the beginning. Okay, great. So all these markers are mapped up the same because it was in here. It was right at the beginning as well. So as long as those match, you're all good to go. Now, like I was saying to you before, the issue about bringing it in on the first beat of each bar, as you can see here, it's not. So I'm going to use S to snip there, get rid of that, and do the same for the end of the cue. Get rid of that. Then there is another cool little trick in Reaper that you can do. And I'm going to bring up the shift and question mark again for the custom actions menu. Then I'm going to go to crop. And I'm going to crop the project to time selection. So we've got this time selection selected here again. So I'm going to run that. And there we go, right at the beginning of the bar. Much easier to do some recording to. So let's count in before recording here. I just right clicked on the metronome there for that. I don't know if this tempo is going to match it or not. Let's just give it a go. Let's pull up a synth. Let's see. This is just for an example of let's turn that down a bit loud. So let us just test this out. So please don't judge my my music there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this cue volume all the way down, and that's because if I mute this, you'll see that the video won't show. Whereas if I bring the volume all the way down, you don't have the background music and it still plays the video. So now if I was to save this project, you'll see what happened there. The little window came up rendering the audio, and now if I go to Q3 on the track we selected before, you'll see there's some audio here on the cue points that was already mapped earlier. And
you have a spare moment, if you browse Instagram, you can browse Playbook.
You can see that my really annoying test synth audio is in its place. So there we have it. Using subprojects within Reaper to map out your cues much better, all under one master project, and each of your cues having a subproject within it where you can edit your own music and play with the time signatures and everything in a much more easier and clear way for you. Hope that helped. Hope it improves your workflow. As always, like and comment and subscribe for more videos like this. And if you have any questions or any other videos that you'd like me to put up in the future, please whack them in the comments below. Cheers guys, take care.